Good morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, along with James Mason, my co-host, where every day our goal is to bring you ideas and insights into the daily trading activities for the market. Good morning, James. How are you doing?
Todd, good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. A little festive, celebrating the good news from POAI yesterday. So, getting my beach wear on, getting ready to travel.
I'll tell you what's crazy is how many people they just. I can tell you 100% what the cause of this is, but it's crazy how so many people they're just they can't see the significance in that acquisition that Predictive Oncology, just recently performed. And for some people, I do understand you've been holding on to this stock for like what seems like forever. I mean, if it's an investment for you, then really that's just the stock market. You just have to wait it out. But if you were just trying to quick flip this and hit massive profits, I mean, it comes down to timing. And I mean, we can look back on this and obviously know that my timing was off on a lot of stuff, but everyone else's timing was off. And you can only just base so much off of what is out there that's publicly available for your own research to draw up your own conclusions and timelines. And it is what it is. And like I said yesterday, a couple people have asked me, I said it on the show yesterday, we are a little behind here with the big picture. And, there are different things that have came into play that have caused these delays. And there's also a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, more stuff going on behind the scenes that we'll never know about. Even in the end, when everything is concluded and, they're moving along and whatnot. But now, I mean, with that being said, like, trust me, like, I wish it was like some just amazing news about, I don't know, just something hypothetical, something crazy to where it would have shot up to $10 per share. But this is, in my opinion, this is one of the final puzzle pieces here. Those GMP labs, they should be completed this month from, what we've been told so far. And at that point, they're ready for commercialization. This company who they acquired yesterday, they already have contracts with LabCorp. And if you guys know who LabCorp is, they're literally like one of the top, if not the top, medical diagnostics centers in the United States. Their market cap is, I think, like $28 billion. PPS value like 285. So this company obviously has some significant contracts, which that's an additional revenue stream.
It's a big revenue stream. It's not additional. It's a big revenue stream.
Yeah. I mean, there's already a door with access for money with this acquisition. And now they just have to put all their pieces of the puzzle together and start moving along. So we shall see. It's like I said, man, it's been quite so many months ago. I think about 3 or 4 months ago when people were asking me like my overall like long-term target prices when I was talking about, I think I want to keep at least 20% of my position like for like a long-term hold. I do believe that this could be $100 per share stock one day. And if you guys are still questioning that, then you have not read any of the due diligence that has been put out there for y'all. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's your money. I really don't care. I mean, I know that sounds just, a little harsh, but I mean, if you don't want to read any research, any information, then oh well, that's your gambling money.
So there's two thoughts. One is that no doubt this move makes POAI financially more attractive for someone to buy them out or for them to grow, increase revenue streams with what they're doing. Both options are good for us. Good for all shareholders. Number two is if where you're at with your position in the stock and you're nervous or you're bothered by it, maybe you should trim some down, trim your size down. But because there's different buckets of money that we're working with, and I have purposely have not tied up my day trading bucket so I can continue to trade every day. Where I know others are 100%, they have their day trading bucket, they have their kids' Roth IRA bucket, they have their 401k bucket, all in this ticker. And if that's too heavy for you, or you're bothered by it because you're not getting the action, then you need to just trim your size down so you are comfortable where you're at.
Exactly. I did kind of find it funny when I said that I was all in, and I am all in. I'm still all in. But when I said I was all in, people were saying that, oh, I'm all in too. Man, let's be real. 80% of those people were already all in for months prior. And then a lot of the new people who said that they were jumping all in, man, let's be real with them. They were all in for about damn 30, 40 minutes before they were flipping it. And then they moved on. So, or they didn't necessarily move on. They waited for a pullback and, jumped in and out. That's what a lot of people have just been doing. And I said this also 2 months ago, the overall PPS value for predictive oncology, it's not going to organically trend up with all of these penny flippers. The majority of people in this stock are penny flipping, but the people who have significant positions here, we can't penny flip this. Our positions are just far too heavy. We would crush this stock, and not that we'd ever want to take a loss, but like all the people who are penny flipping, man, if we decided to pull out of this stock when y'all thought you were gonna make your entries at $1 or whatnot, if we pulled out of this stock, man, this thing would be like 60 cents a share.
That's important because there's a lack of liquidity because the people who are holding or who are in or what funds or what brokers are in, they're holding. They're not looking to unload. So there's not enough liquidity to penny flip if you've got any size.
Yeah. So for Karen's Farm Life to kind of talk about your statement where you said in the comments, we beat the same dead horse every day. You could not possibly imagine how we feel on our end when we get these same questions and statements. Like, I can't tell you how many times every day. That's why for a while there, I would not talk about predictive oncology at all. I'm just so sick of talking about it.
Karen, today in our pregame chat, James said, man, I don't want to talk about POAI again. So it's funny that you put that up there. I appreciate it because we feel the same way on a couple different levels. So let's move it on. Let's talk about the market. We're 15 minutes from the start of the market. Give us an update. And I have a ticker that we're going to take a look at.
Well,
thank you, Johnny, for the tip. Appreciate that.
So hold on a second. So Dow futures are currently up 109 points. S&P 500 up 2.25 points. And let me share my screen. All right, so here is the S&P 500, but we had a strong sell-off yesterday. You can see right here on the S&P 500. This thing, we were hitting 46, and heck, we almost came down here to this support at 44.85. So pretty strong pullback yesterday. had a little bounce, kind of cooling off some, and this is kind of just falling back to what I was saying the other day about the overall market. So here we are today. Todd, you said we had some job numbers that were reported.
Yeah, jobless claims had a little bump because of Thanksgiving week, but nothing that really, should be a real issue. I think what we're seeing here is the fallout was from the panic button of the Omicron variant. And I think that's, as more information is coming out on that, that's becoming less of an issue. So it's,
yeah. Well, so pretty much South Africa, from my understanding, is ground zero. And again, all this information can change as we move forward. But there's doctors there in South Africa. At least that's where I've heard it was being reported first. Those doctors were even saying that these were just mild symptoms. But, the world has to have something to be upset over. So
the only issue is going to be this, and I want to move on from this, is that because there's so much COVID testing going on in workplaces for different reasons, that this is part of the COVID family. So when it shows up and it hits our radar, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to test positive, and they're going to have to sit out for 10 days. And they're saying this is basically a cold. So that's going to be the frustrating part, is that because of what we got in place, it may impact the workforce and create issues, but I'm not too overly worried about it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. There was a ticker brought up from Ilana. So Ilana's asking, can we look at a China company, PLIN, for a short? Let's take a look. I have no idea where that. And what I hate about having so many screens, because I have so many things going on everywhere. I'll type something in, and if I didn't click on it properly, and it'll send that message or whatever out into whatever platform. I'm like, oh God. All right, so for PLIN, shares outstanding 58. We'll round it up to 58.5 million shares outstanding. Short interest, pretty much next to nothing so far for short interest, but looking right here on this daily chart, this thing is pushing up pretty daggone strong. I'm not sure what they have going on or what the catalyst is. Looks like they just closed an offering, a direct offering. See a couple 6Ks in our news, but I have to look at those later. So just looking at it from a technical analysis perspective. Hold on a second. Let me see what the volume was yesterday.
This morning, it's only like 22,000. It's real low.
Yeah, me personally, I couldn't short that with that little volume.
There's not a lot of meat on the bones there either. What we need is them to pump it or drop some catalyst news and have it do a parabolic spike up to like $3.50, $4, and then look to short it back down in the $2 range.
Yeah.
But right now it would be a no play for me.
It's definitely overextended, but it's that low volume and then just trying to take a short position. It would not, if you took a short position, let's just say you took 10,000 shares short, it would not take much at all for a buyer to come in and make this thing and squeeze you out. Honestly, that's what I was about ready to say in short. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it would not take much for a buyer to come in and squeeze you out. Since there's no volume at all. So for this one, I do like it on the daily chart for a bearish position, a bearish play, but with that lack of volume, it's too risky in my opinion. It's too risky for your potential in profits. There's just, like Todd was saying, there's just not really much you're going to pull off here unless if something crazy happens and it just crashes. So for this ticker, I would personally just have to pass this up in both directions. So that is what I see for ticker PLIN to the short side.
Take a look at ticker CFVI. Charlie Fox Acquisition Corp.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Let me scale down my chart. This thing had a pretty solid gap up. I'm just going to have to put it on the monthly chart. This is going to get shorted. So this is the monthly chart, guys, just because it didn't really have much data overall, and it had gapped up so much. We can see, obviously, the price difference, the gap up. From yesterday closing out at 976 to here pre-market, almost touching 14. I mean, just look at that distance on the chart. When you see this setup, you can pretty much already know that this thing is going to print a red candle on the daily chart. So if you're trying to jump in now and hold it like into tomorrow, your portfolio is going to be a little lighter. So just keep that in mind. This is definitely one of the hotter tickers for the pre-market, and that is not saying much for today. So just a little information on this. There's virtually nothing in short interest up to this point. Shares outstanding 30.7 million. The news on that. Todd, what did you say the news was? Did you?
I didn't see the news. I just saw it was on my scanner, and I can look real quick, but I did not see what the actual news was.
Okay, I'm seeing something off the top talking about Rumble Incorporated, the neutral video platform, to go public.
Yep, it's a SPAC deal.
Oh, okay, SPAC. Okay. I really don't. I know who Rumble Incorporated is, but I really don't know much about like what they have going on. I mean, I know what their product is and all that, but I really don't know like how solid of a company they are. I'm trying to decipher in my head, basically like knowing that this is a SPAC now, how this will play out, because DWAC kind of did the same thing when looking back on it. It wasn't, I don't think it was like that significant of a jump at first, but I don't know. I think to be fair, like what we need to do, I mean, I still believe this will print a red day. I could be wrong here now that I know it's a SPAC, but the reason why I say I could be wrong here is everybody's all about jumping on the SPACs at this point. But to have more data, we need to see actually what it's going to do today with this gap up. If this thing would hold up for the most part, tomorrow will actually be the day that it actually becomes interesting. So let's if we remember, let's bring this up tomorrow. This will be worth looking at.
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching it this morning in the open. So you're about less than 5 minutes to the start of the market. Anything else you want to cover?
So Brittany, for that one ticker, that's an alert. Can't talk about that. So let's see. Hold on, I'm just going through the comments. Oh, so Giovanni, how were the warrants supposed to work out for POAI and execute them? So the warrants were like, I think they were 125 warrants, and for those warrants, for them to actually break even with their premiums, the price had to be like 135, $1.35 and some change, whatever, before they would like break even on those warrants. So the way warrants work overall, their price is kind of, in a sense, locked in for a certain time period. And let's say if predictive oncology was at $1.50. And this is what I dislike about the internet. People start spreading disinformation. A lot of people, because they saw the break-even price for those warrants at 135, everybody was just like, okay, at 135, they're gonna execute those warrants. And I kept trying to tell everyone, no, that's not necessarily true. They can exercise them at 135. That's the honest to God truth. They could exercise them at 135, and it make financial sense in the context of they wouldn't be exercising them in the red. So if it was at $1, if the PPS value for predictive oncology was at $1.50, there's a strong chance that they wouldn't even exercise them. The companies usually don't exercise something until they have a significant margin of profit. That way, their investment is relatively safe. So if they exercise 15 million shares off of those warrants and say the PPS value was $3 or above, whatever, they have that strong margin of profit right there between that warrant strike price versus the current PPS value. That's how it really works. But man, there's just been so much disinformation spread with this entire predictive oncology trade. And, a lot of it does come back to people just trying to push their agenda for their own portfolios. And that always makes things worse in the end. So, Todd, that is, we're running out of time right now. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. But yeah, do you have anything else, Todd?
No, have a good day. It's early in the month. Be smart, be safe with your money, and looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning.
All right, everybody. So trade safe, trade smart, and we will catch y'all later.